Black World, Black World, Black World TV.
Welcome, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, to Black World TV, the new black media. Today's broadcast is about prosecutors who want a black judge who criticized the incarceration rates of African Americans to be removed. Go figure that one. 2 state judges will begin hearing arguments this week about whether an African American Iberia Parish judge should be recused from more than 300 criminal cases after she criticized prosecutors for a high rate of incarceration of black Louisianians. The comments by 16th Judicial District Court Judge Landry, pictured here, about the treatment of black defendants have prompted claims of bias by the district attorney's office and support from community members who believe the judge is being treated unfairly. Prosecutors with 16th Judicial District Attorney Bo Dewey's office filed motions for recusal in Landry's cases, arguing she should be removed because she is, quote, biased or prejudiced against the DA's office such that she cannot be fair or impartial, unquote. The 16th Judicial District covers St. Martin, Iberia, and St. Mary parishes. Landry has accused the district attorney's office of incarcerating African Americans more harshly and at a higher rate than others, according to the recusal motion. The judge has suggested prosecutors have improper motivations and engage in trickery. First Assistant District Attorney Robert Vines, who is white, argued in the recusal motion that Landry has, quote, engaged in abusive, inappropriate, and or bullying behavior towards prosecutors, staff of the district attorney's office, victims, and witnesses. Some of the recusal motions are scheduled to be heard Wednesday by 16th Judicial District Court Judges Anthony Thibodeau and Lewis Pittman. This is a violation. Quote, this is a violation of the constitutional rights of the people who elected me, the Daily Iberian quoted Landry as saying last month during a hearing when Vines began filing recusal motions in cases on her docket. Landry, who was elected to her position in 2002, did not respond to requests last week for comment. Before taking office as a judge, she served for 9 years as an assistant district attorney. Landry ruled in an unrelated case in June that one of her fellow 16th Judicial Court judges should not be allowed to sentence a woman in a manslaughter case, arguing years earlier he failed to issue a protective order that might have prevented her from shooting and killing her husband. In the move to remove Landry from her criminal cases, the district attorney's office claims she threatened to stick a pin in the eardrum of a prosecutor and a defense attorney. When the prosecutors asked why the eardrum, Landry, according to the motion, said, because, girl, it hurts, but it doesn't kill you. It makes you suffer. See what I'm saying? Unquote. Because of Landry's actions, the district attorney's office argued in its motion that its ability to prosecute cases in a fair and orderly manner has been affected. Vines also said that there has been serious harm to the public because of Landry's actions. Quote, filing a motion to recuse a judge on the grounds of bias is always a step to be taken with great deliberation, Vines argues the motion. Well, family, I'm not going to continue on this. I'm going to go down to the part where it says the accusations. The motion to remove Landry has been added to virtually every criminal case that has been assigned to her, with only the docket number and the defendant's name changing. prosecutors laid out more than 30 specific instances in the motion they argue support concerns that Landry is biased. Now, I'm not even going to go into these examples, family, because this is coming from white media. I want to tell you that they don't do this when it comes to white judges. Never mind the bias and the racism coming from white judges who consistently incarcerate black people to the utmost. And we are given the longest sentences for crimes that when white people do, they get probation or they don't even get jail time at all. So when we challenge these different instances that the court systems are doing, and in the case of Judge Lori Landry, who is specifically calling out the prosecutors for the high rate of incarceration of black people, well, when black judges call out the system, even black judges are then vilified. They are looked at as a problem in the system, and they don't look at it as the fact that black judges contribute to making this system better. No, they look at it as black people, and in particular, black people who are in positions of authority, they look at you as the problem. They never look at it that you're trying to make our system better. They look at it as a problem when you question their bias, when you question their racism, when you question their prejudice. That's when it's a problem. And this is what I want to say to you. We need to reject white society. We need to reject white authority. We need to reject this white racist so-called justice system whenever we see it falling apart. And in this situation, this next Wednesday, there should be a number of black people supporting this judge and making sure that they don't get her off the 300 cases that she currently has on her docket. Yes, we have seen court cases with the Judge Tammy Mammy Kemps. We've seen those type of court cases where we have black people in roles of authority who really are more a problem than anything, even for black Americans. We've seen that. We've seen it recently with the court case of Amber Geiger in her murder trial of Botham Jean, and how the court system is playing shenanigans in that case. We see how the justice system has just been totally corrupt, if I could use a word that clearly describes this so-called justice system. It's corrupt. And it really needs to be overhauled from the bottom up. Just start all over. Because what white Americans say that we have the best system in the world, no, that's just for you racist white people. This system is the worst system in the world, if you ask the majority of righteous people on the planet who see and know exactly what you're doing. And so in this situation, I want to say that I hope this next Wednesday, when they hold these motions against Judge Lori Landry, that there's a group of black people there to support her. Because in this situation, this black judge is challenging the prosecutors who are incarcerating and using tricks to incarcerate African Americans across this nation. We've seen it happen one too many times. We have a corrupt system where they want you to plead guilty to a plea bargain even when you're innocent. Because they say if you don't plead guilty to this plea bargain where you're going to be held accountable for a crime that you possibly did not commit. They want you to take that rather than taking many more years that they could possibly railroad you into. So they put fear into you that you possibly could get longer jail time for crimes that you probably didn't commit in the first place. And then we have these other court cases where we see black men who have done years in prison only to be exonerated later on after they've spent the majority of their life behind bars, only to find out that the witnesses either lied, they weren't telling the truth, they misidentified someone because of their eyewitness account. It was totally incorrect. And then you let these black men or women out of prison after eons of years spent behind bars, and you give them a little bit of chump change, expecting that to make things right. When you have a corrupt judicial system, and anytime our black judges or black prosecutors or lawyers come forward to try to straighten it out and expose your corruption, you want to turn around and try to blame them. Well, foundational black Americans, we see what kind of system this is. We know you're a racist, foul, vulgar, nasty, corrupt system that we want to fail at every turn. And that's what I'm hoping happens until it is dismantled completely and we start all over again. Because currently what we have in place is a racial system that is unacceptable. And so, on behalf of Judge Lori Landry, I wish you the best of luck. You are going up against a racist system that has shown even you, as a black judge, that they have way more power than you. And when they want you to sit down and shut up and not bring up black victimizations, well, they plan on removing you. And they're trying to set that in motion. And I say, we shouldn't allow that to happen. This is Black World TV. Hoping you like, share, and support Judge Lori Landry in this situation. Peace out.